I'm JNEPS MMA. This is my prediction and breakdown of UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. This is the card of the year. This is the pay-per-view of the year. This card is stacked from top to bottom. Main card is amazing. It's like once you pass against Kopylov versus Reyes, those fights are 50-50. You don't know who's gonna win. We have amazing cards on the prelims. But let's get started. First fight of the night. Nora Cornolle versus Hailey Cowan. I got Nora Cornolle the Dyke. I think she's just gonna beat Hailey Cowan. Hailey Cowan hasn't fought in like 2 years. Nora Cornolle has a loss against Jacqueline Cavalcante, but Jacqueline Cavalcante is like actually good. And she has 2 wins in the UFC against Melissa Mullins and Jocelyn Edwards, dude. Hailey Cowan, she's just not good, man. I don't even know why she's in the UFC. But yeah, I got the French Dyke getting it done. We move on. We have Tresean Gore versus Marco Trioli. Marco Trioli is winning in life, brother. This man wakes up every single day to normal demands, but in his face, man. And I think he's going to win against Tresean Gore, dude. Yeah, I know Trioli's UFC debut was against Ior Potieria. I feel so bad for Ior Potieria. He's had, oh my god. He's had so much happen to him in the UFC, but whatever. Tresean Gore, we thought he was going to be something coming out of the Ultimate Fighter, but we realized that he is just not that good. Yeah, his last 2 wins against Josh Frem and Antonio Tricoli were standing guillotines, but I don't think he's going to do that to Marco Trioli. I think Trioli's just really good, better on the feet, has better grappling, and I think he either can finish Gore in like the first or second round or 29-28 him. But we move on. We have Mudaerji versus Mitch Raposo. I'm going to go with Mudaerji. Yeah, he's on a 3-fight losing skid. He's lost to Charles Johnson, Tim Elliott, and Matt Schnell. But Mitch Raposo, he's not that good. Yeah, that split decision loss against Andre Lima, I guess, means something. But in reality, he really lost that fight. I don't even know why it was a split decision. Should have been unanimous. And I don't know why so many people are picking Mitch Raposo to win this fight. I think Mudaerji's going to go out there and he's going to finish Mitch Raposo. I think he's just way better. And it was a really close fight against Charles Johnson. So I got Mudaerji winning this fight. But we move on. We have Sedriques Dumas versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. I'm going to go with Michal Oleksiejczuk winning this fight. Sedriques Dumas, yeah, he has wins in the UFC. He's won like Dennis Tululin, and who cares, because Michal Oleksiejczuk has been fighting actual guys, bro. He's lost to Sharon Magomedov, he's lost to Kevin Holland and Michael Pereira. But dude, like, those are real actual names, like that, you know. Some of the, like, I don't think Sedriques Dumas even can beat those guys either. And against Sharon Magomedov, Oleksiejczuk looked really good out there, and he kind of, like, you know, showed some flaws in Sharon Magomedov's game. And we all know what happened to Sharon Magomedov. The hype is done. He's fraud checked. Michael Page ended him. And I just think Dumas's wins doesn't mean so much in the UFC at all. A win against Dennis Tululin, Abdullah Blaitar, and Cody Brundage doesn't mean anything, dude. He's even lost to Josh Frem, dude. I just think Michal Oleksiejczuk is just better, dude. He's just way better than him, and I got him winning this fight. But we move on. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. I'm gonna have to go with Julian Erosa here, dude. Usually I would go with Darren Elkins, bro, but I feel like in his last fight, man, it was a he won against Daniel Pineda, but dude, Daniel Pineda almost finished Elkins a couple times, bro. And I don't know. I think Juicy J is just way better on the feet, and I think he's fought way better prospects right now than Elkins. In his last fight, Juicy J, he beat Christian Rodriguez and he beat Ricardo Ramos. Those are not bad. Those are pretty good guys to get a win over, bro. and I just think he's way better than Darren Elkins. I still think Darren Elkins could out there and maraud Julian Erosa, dude. But I just think Julian Erosa is way better on the feet. He's super slick. He can actually find the finish. But I think this is going to be a decision win for Juicy J. And I think he's going to get it done. But we move on to the next fight. We have Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Now, I know everybody and their moms are saying this. If this was a couple years back, we would have picked Jim Miller. But right now, Chase Hooper, he's found himself in this lightweight division, and he's gonna get this. He's gonna get it done. He's gonna get it done. Jim Miller, ever since he got baptized in blood by Bobby Green, yeah, he got a win over Jamie Jackson, but he just, I don't know, dude. He's not gonna beat Chase Hooper, dude. Chase Hooper is on one. He's 25 years old. They're giving him an old head. They've been giving him, guys for him to build up. And that Darce choke win against Vyacheslav Borshev, it's a really good win. He went out there and got the armbar win against Clay Guida in the first round. Dude, this guy's on like a really nice 4-fight winning streak right now. And ever since he got knocked out by Steve Garcia, he's just changed it up. He's moved up in weight. He looks a lot healthier. His striking looks better. And I think he's just going to go out there and submit Jim Miller, probably with an armbar or rear naked choke. Chase Hooper is really that guy now. It's crazy to see that. But we move on to the next fight. We got Yan Jomazang. I can't say her name. I suck at saying her name. Versus Virna Jandiroba. I'm really gonna have to go with Jandiroba here, dude. Jandiroba, is literally gonna fight next for the belt, dude. I don't know what to say. She's gonna win this fight and probably fight Weili Yang next. But Jandiroba, dude, she's on a hell of a win streak right now. 4-fight win streak against Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Lupi Gordinez, and she got the armbar win against Amanda Lemos last year. I think she's gonna beat Yang. She's gonna beat Yang, bro. She's really gonna beat Yang out here. Yang, she's not really good on the ground, dude. She's not good on the ground. She's mostly just better on the feet. And I think Jandiroba, she just knows how to she knows how to get the takedown, and I think she's just way better than Yang. Yang does have a chance of knocking out Virna Jandiroba, but we all thought Lemos was gonna knock this girl out, and look what happened, dude. And Yang's last couple, her last fight after losing the title shot to Weili, her fight against Tabitha Ritchie wasn't super exciting like that. And she's had struggled with the grapplers in the past. She's lost to Carla Esparza, dude. So I'm gonna go with Virna Jandiroba getting this win, and she's gonna get it done probably with a rear naked choke or an armbar. I can see a finish happening. But we move on to the featured prelim. We have Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson, and it's gonna hurt me to say this, but I'm gonna have to go with Sean Woodson here. I want Dan Ige to win this fight, but I just think Sean Woodson, who can beat this guy? Look at him. He's long and lanky, and dude, he's 6'2" for the featherweight division. That's insane. I don't know, and I feel like Dan Ige, he hasn't, he's been on a little losing skid right now. He got the win against Andre Fili, dude. They literally gave him that fight, bro, because he lost to Bryce Mitchell after the Fili win. Lost to Diego Lopes, obviously circumstances in that fight. He came in on short notice. But that Lerone Murphy lost. He just lost the last 2 rounds, bro. And I feel like Lerone Murphy is such a technical fighter. And Sean Woodson is a technical fighter too. And I think Sean Woodson, he's just going to be way better on the feet than Dan Ige. There's one thing about Sean Woodson is he has not gotten hit. He has not gotten hurt in the UFC, dude. And Against Fernando Padilla, he went out there and he demolished him, dude. And he's just been on a tear in the UFC, bro. He's been on a tear. And I just think Sean Woodson is going to go out there and probably beat Dan Ige 29-28 by decision, dude. I feel like it's going to be a decision win for Sean Woodson. But we move up to the main card. Pay-per-view. We got Nikita Krylov versus Dominick Reyes. And I just got to say this. Nikita Krylov is one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. There's no way he loses this fight to Dominick Reyes, bro. There's no way he loses this fight to Dominick Reyes. Nikita Krylov went out there, beat Ryan Spann, beat Volkov Uzdemir. He's on a tear right now, dude. He's on a tear. And I just think he's way better than Dominick Reyes, dude. He's way better. He's just overall just well-rounded, way better than Dominick Reyes. Dominick Reyes, dude, ever since the Jones fight, it was a downfall until finally he got the 2 wins that he needed, bro. He got the 2 wins that he needed. But a win against Dustin Jacoby and Anthony Lionheart-Smith right now. Maybe the Dustin Jacoby win means a little bit something because he went out there and knocked out Victor Petrino nasty. But against Lionheart-Smith, dude, Lionheart-Smith, he, you know, his coach had just died and the man just curled up and didn't really want to fight. And I just think this is a different competition. Nikita Krylov, he knows how to use his kicks. And I think he's going to find the knockout against Dominick Reyes' chin. I got Nikita Krylov winning this fight, brother. I just think Dominick Reyes, he's not that good. I feel like there's better light heavyweights right now than him. And I see Nikita Krylov getting a finish. But we move on. We have Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. And obviously, whenever the UFC brings a guy from another promotion, especially like Bellator and stuff, everybody goes with the UFC guy because obviously just way better competition. And not only that, if you think about it, Patricio Pitbull, man, he is really old, man. He's not the Patricio Pitbull that we saw when he was fighting Michael Chandler and whatever the young guys in Bellator were. I don't watch Bellator. Not a hardcore like that. But Patricio Pitbull, 37 years old, dude. His last fight against Jeremy Kennedy, I don't even know who that guy is. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. But look, he's just not, Patricio Pitbull. Lost in Rising against Chihiro Suzuki. Lost to Sergio Pettis, dude. He even lost to AJ McKee. And AJ McKee, we thought AJ McKee was good at one point, and we thought he was gonna be in the UFC. But AJ McKee is not that good, let's be honest. And he's still not in the UFC for a reason. Maybe he'll get there, but I just feel like Yair Rodriguez is just way better on the feet. And against Josh Emmett, he looked good against Josh Emmett. Obviously, we just saw Josh Emmett against Lerone Murphy, and Josh Emmett looked like, he only has an overhand right, let's be honest. Josh Emmett just is an unk, and he only has an overhand right. But Yair Rodriguez is just younger. He's way faster. Just really good striking. His last 2 fights, he lost to Brian Ortega by arm triangle. He's not facing a grappler. I don't think Patricio Pitbull is going to go out there and grapple with Yair Rodriguez. And obviously, he lost against Alexander Volkanovski. And man, he was giving Alexander Volkanovski a little bit of trouble in the beginning in that fight. And he had some moments, but I'm going to be honest with you. I just feel like Yair Rodriguez is 10 times better than Patricio Pitbull. And right now, I just think Yair Rodriguez, he's going to win 29-28. Or I don't think he's going to knock out Patricio Pitbull. I think he's just going to, he's going to win by decision. But we move on to the featured fight. We have Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva, man. This is where it gets tough, brother. The odds right now don't make sense. I don't know why Gene Silva is a minus 340 against Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell's really underrated, bro. He really is underrated. I don't know why they're trying Bryce Mitchell like that. I'm still going to go with Gene Silva. I'm going to go with the Fighting Nerds. I know that Bryce Mitchell has a chance of submitting Gene Silva. And I'm not counting out Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell can beat Gene Silva. Like he's only got like a really bad loss, and it's to Josh Emmett when he got like baptized with, on short notice against Josh Emmett. But he also lost to Ilia Topuria. I don't think Gene Silva is gonna go out there and submit Bryce Mitchell. If anything, I do see Bryce Mitchell getting the rear naked choke against Gene Silva, but I'm gonna go with Gene Silva. I feel like the aura right now that he has, I feel like the striking that he has, I think he can knock out Bryce Mitchell in the first or second round. I can see it. I can see Gene Silva, trying to get into Bryce Mitchell's head, and Bryce Mitchell's probably not going to let it happen. But I don't know. I think Gene Silva, he doesn't have great takedown defense. If I'm gonna be honest, like he was getting taken down by Charles Jourdain, who's not really a grappler like that. But Gene Silva is just weird. He has really good weird striking, bro. Really unorthodox striking, and I feel like he can find the finish or just keep it up on the feet. I hope the Fighting Nerds don't lose. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really like the Fighting Nerds a lot. I have made a video on them. I'm not trying to be biased here, because I do think Bryce Mitchell can beat this guy, bro. I might bet on Bryce Mitchell to win against Gene Silva, but I just think Gene Silva, dude, he's just, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna go against the aura. I'm on the hype train right now of the Fighting Nerds, and I think he's gonna beat Bryce Mitchell. But I could be wrong, and I'm gonna be sad if he loses. But we move on to the co-main event. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett, dude. This one was really hard for me to pick, because if you really think about it, man, I'm gonna throw a con at Paddy Pimblett first, and then a con at Chandler. The con against Paddy Pimblett is that he has Dana White privilege, and the people that he's fought have not been good. Against Bobby Green, Bobby Green shot himself into a takedown, bro. We all know this. He shot himself into a takedown and got choked out. And before that, against Tony Ferguson, we're going to talk about both of the Tony Ferguson fights, but Paddy Pimblett against Tony Ferguson, he couldn't finish Tony Ferguson, and Tony Ferguson had some moments against Paddy Pimblett, and Paddy Pimblett just didn't really look too good out there against Tony Ferguson. And then also we have the Jared Gordon. We're not going to talk about the Jared Gordon robbery, but this is what I'm saying. Like, Paddy Pimblett has not fought high level competition in the lightweight division. If you look at Chandler's cons, Chandler, he's just lost to everybody who is elite and the top guys in the lightweight division. The two losses against Oliveira, obviously almost knocked Oliveira out in the first one, but I'm kind of like looking more towards like Chandler's, like, now, like the Oliveira second fight. Oliveira demolished Chandler in that fight. In the second fight, he demolished him. And the only moment that Chandler had was in the 5th round, where he tagged him nasty again, and he was hitting him in the back of the head like crazy. And against Dustin Poirier, he had some moments there, but Dustin Poirier went out there and got the rear naked choke against Michael Chandler, dude. And yes, we all know that Michael Chandler finished Tony Ferguson with a nasty head kick. But after Tony Ferguson has not been the same after the Justin Gaethje beating, dude. And honestly, it just goes down. It really just goes down to Is Paddy Pimblett going to be able to submit Michael Chandler? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If this is up in the feet, we all know Paddy Pimblett leaves his chin wide open, son. And yes, Michael Chandler, he's a brawler. We understand. But look at the guys that he's fought. Look at the guys that he's lost to. And I don't know, bro. I think I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I don't know who to pick in this fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's that close of a fight. I can see Chandler knocking out Paddy Pimblett, but Paddy Pimblett does have decent. He has really good grappling. I just don't think it's Charles Oliveira grappling. I don't see Paddy Pimblett like dominating Michael Chandler all 5 rounds in the grappling department. And if Paddy Pimblett decides to stand and bang, I don't think that's good for him. I think Michael Chandler has a chance to tag Paddy Pimblett pretty bad and kind of knock him out. Michael Chandler against Oliveira in the second fight, he did pretty good with the grappling. And I think Michael Chandler is going to go out there and he's going to either win by decision or he's going to catch Paddy. I think he's going to catch Paddy. I just don't think Paddy has fought real competition yet. And I know Michael Chandler, he's on his downfall right now. Dude, he's 2-4 or 5 in the UFC. He's not been good in the UFC ever since the Dan Hooker win. But I think he's fought way better competition throughout his career and in the UFC right now, and better than Paddy Pimblett. I think he's fought way better guys than Paddy Pimblett. This is a huge step up in competition for Paddy Pimblett, dude. This isn't like no scrub. Like Michael Chandler, yeah, he's sorry right now, but I don't see Paddy Pimblett wanting to strike with this guy. Paddy Pimblett leaves his chin way too open, dude. And if Michael Chandler catches Paddy Pimblett, I see Paddy Pimblett in real trouble. I'm gonna go with Michael Chandler. That's my final decision. But let's go on to the main event. Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. And you probably can tell with my do-rag being the mullet and the cowboy hat, I'm going with Diego Lopes, man. It's sad to say this, but I think Alexander Volkanovski's done. I think Father Time is knocking at his door. If you haven't seen my Diego Lopes will be champ video, go check it out. I talked about this fight a little bit more. But I just think Volkanovski's done, dude. I think his time is up. Nobody in the lighter weight classes has won at the age of 36. And the way Diego Lopes has been out there and knocking down and knocking out opponents has been insane. The Brian Ortega fight. If this man didn't land that second punch that woke up Brian Ortega, brother, he would have won by knockout. And guess what? He still went out there and demolished Brian Ortega. Okay, yes, in the Dan Ige fight, he looked a little bit iffy, but dude, he had, making weight 3 times, that's not easy, brother. That is not easy. And Diego Lopes, bro, 5-fight win streak ever since he lost to Mazar Ivavov in his UFC debut. And he looked good in that fight. On short notice, he looked good in that fight. Maybe if he would have had a full training camp, probably would have won. But I just think Father Time is knocking down on Alexander Volkanovski's door, dude. Like, yeah, he took a year off to recover from the Ilia Topuria baptism. You got knocked out cold against Ilia Topuria. And he got demolished by Islam Makhachev on short notice with the head kick. We know this. I just think Volkanovski, he can't go out there and do what he usually does and go out there and jab and go out there and throw strikes and volume strikes and go out there and tag like if he does it with in all 3 of Max Holloway fights. He's not going to do that against Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes in the clinch is nasty. He did it against Youssef Salah. He found the uppercut. The only way I see Alexander Volkanovski winning is with the wrestling, and he's not really heavy on the wrestling, and he's not going to do it in the first couple rounds. He's probably going to try and get Diego Lopes down in the later rounds. But I think Diego Lopes finishes Volkanovski in the first round or in the second round, dude. I just think Diego Lopes' striking is super good, dude. And I see Bedtime MMA saying that Diego Lopes is trash, dude, that he's not good. And I'm like, brother, you can't say that right now. Diego Lopes right now has aura. His striking is elite. I think his striking is way better than Alexander Volkanovski right now. Way quicker than faster than Volkanovski right now. Diego Lopes, the way he's knocked out his opponents, the way he's battled it out with his opponents, I think he's going to beat Alexander Volkanovski, bro. I think he's going to beat Alexander Volkanovski. And I'm not trying to be biased because I've made a Diego Lopes video before. But I just think our king, our featherweight GOAT, Alexander Volkanovski, his time is done. And if he wins this fight, you really think Alexander Volkanovski is going to beat Movsar Evloev? I think, I'm going to be honest, I think Movsar Evloev is going to beat Aaron Pico. I know they just made that fight. I don't know why. They should have just sat Evloev out, wait for the winner of this fight. But let's say Volkanovski wins. You really think he's gonna be Evloev? You really think he's gonna be Evloev? When Movsar Evloev is crazy good on the ground. His last fight against Aljamain Sterling, come on, brother, he showed levels to that. And I don't think. I don't see Alexander Volkanovski getting past Diego Lopes, dude. I feel like this is Diego Lopes' time. This is his era. This is Diego Lopes' time. He's gonna be the champ. I feel like he's gonna hold this belt for a really long time because I think Diego Lopes can beat Movsar Evloev and Aaron Pico and whoever the heck they give him next, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on the Diego Lopes train right now, dude. And I see him knocking out Alexander Volkanovski. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm Gene Epps MMA. Like and subscribe. And I'm out.